years from now, remember the losses, the wins, but you'll never forget the journey that we took this journey with you. Remember your coach, and never let you get on your push you to your best. Remember those around you that never let you win silly things you did, mainly because they did it with you. Remember the times, the night before and after the bus rides, laughs and tears. Remember the game, talking about life, dedication, commitment to others. The time you spent to this anyway, this was never a waste of your time. You are a better person because onward Raiders. At this time, we'll announce players. Matt Bazemore. Matt Jamie Bazemore, his brother Evan. Player positions are first base and relief pitcher. Number of years playing baseball, Rouse. His future plans are Stephen F. Austin study criminal justice. His favorite baseball memory, all the memories made this past as a Raider with this group of guys. Accomplishment he's most proud of getting the opportunity to achieve my goals by going to college. Favorite quote, Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? God is with you. At Bastrop.
Caleb Diaz. He is escorted by Christina, Liliana Diaz, and Georgian Momo and Popo. He plays third base, pitcher, and played baseball for 14 years. His future plans are to attend college and major in accounting and minor in business. His favorite baseball memory is home running in the summer when watching everyone celebrate. His accomplishment that he's most proud of is playing against Popo and Momo in the stands cheering. Also being a great son. His favorite quote is, life doesn't require that we be the best, that we try our best. Caleb Diaz.
Ryan Dominguez, being escorted by Joe and Josie Dominguez. His positions are third base and pitcher. He's been playing 12 years of baseball. His future plans are Stephen F. Austin with a major criminal justice. His favorite baseball memory, many hours practicing with his dad. Accomplishments most proud of receiving the scholarship to Stephen F. Austin. His favorite quote, his favorite days to be a win, John Dominguez.
Never giving up. His proudest accomplishment is making his parents proud. His quote that he lives by is like riding a bike. Keep your balance. You must keep Albert Einstein.
Damon Edlin. Damon's being Allen, Trey Brandon Evans. His position is third base, playing baseball for 12 years. His future plans are attending Texas State. His favorite baseball pitching and winning twice. Texas State Bobcats. His first varsity hit was a home run. Favorite quote to live by. It ain't how hard you can get hit, keep moving. It's about how much you can take to keep moving.
Seth Francis, escorted by Mike Francis. Pitcher only, playing baseball for 7 years. His future plans are to attend
Nick Hempel. Nick's being escorted by Shannon and Taylor Hempel. Player position, second base, playing baseball for 12 years. Future plans are attending Western Texas, major in biology. His favorite baseball is hitting with his dad. Most proud of is being enabled is playing college baseball. His favorite quote, just have fun. Nick Hempel.
Stephen Connie. He's being escorted by Eva. He plays right and out. He's a right-handed outfielder. He plays outfield. He's been playing baseball for 13 years. Future plans are your college major in business. His favorite baseball memory is one hitter against Cedar Park. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is power, miles per hour through hard work. His favorite quote that he lives by is there may be more talent than you, but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than Derek Jeter. Stephen Connie.
Cody Kelch. Cody's being escorted by Alan and Sherry Kelch's brother Clay and sister Cheyenne. The position played is outfield. Been playing baseball 14 years. His future plans are continuing his academic career at University in Lawton, Oklahoma, studying agricultural management. His favorite baseball is playing in the Rouse International Baseball fields in Orlando, trading jerseys from other countries. Accomplishment most proud of living a life of integrity, passionate to all people. His favorite quote, whatever you do for the Lord, do it for the Lord, and not Cody Kelch.
Gage Cook, being escorted by Rouse and Tillery Cook, and he plays first base and outfield. He's been playing baseball for 14 years. His future plans are to go to a major criminal justice. His favorite baseball traveling and playing Laredo. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is now in Colorado with his dad and brother. His favorite quote to live by is willing to go all the way, why go it all, by Joe Nate.
Robbie Caro. Robbie's being escorted by his mother and dad, Diana Caro, Sophia, and Christian. Positions are pitcher and shortstop. Playing baseball 15 years. His future plans are attending Weatherford baseball, play base major in business, become a sports agent. His favorite baseball is meeting Georgetown, district championship last year. Bus ride back to Rouse was wild. Accomplishments on Route Hill is most proud of. Becoming someone his little brother looks up to. His favorite quote, be strong and do not be afraid, discouraged, or through times, wherever you go. Joshua, Rodney,
Jameson Slater, escorted by Nelda, and Jim Slater. He plays outfield and pitcher, playing baseball for 14 years. His future plans include Angelo State and attending their school of nursing. His favorite baseball memory is going to first last year in district. The accomplishment he's most proud of to become the man I am today. His quote that he lives by is going to lose, have already lost. Jameson Slater.
Patrick Sosa. Patrick's escorted by Hernandez. Positions of second base. Been playing baseball for 12 years. His future plans are Texas State University, majoring in science and engineering. His favorite baseball is meeting Cedar Park for the first time. His accomplishment is Monterado is being accepted in the Texas State. Favorite quote he lives by. Whoever wants to be might decide himself himself first. Patrick Sosa.
She is being escorted by Becky Tosetta. She is the student athletic trainer and has been with the baseball team for 2 years. Her future plans are to attend Texas University kinesiology and pre-med. Her favorite baseball memory is all the dugout before games, hanging out with Duncan in the playoffs last year. Her favorite quote she lives by is "Put your hair up in the bun, pop it, and handle it." Gracie Tosetta.
Aiden Thomas. Aiden's being escorted by Tillery and Mark Thomas, sister Catherine Thomas. Positions played right-handed pitcher in center field. He's been playing baseball 14 years. His future plans are playing baseball, A&M Corpus, majoring in business. His favorite baseball playing catch on the side of the house. Accomplishment most proud of. Setting himself off great opportunity playing the game he loves. Favorite quote. A few moments of pain, a lifetime of a movie. Aiden Thomas.
Cody Benoit is escorted by his father and life coach Dale, and caring mother Lucy's sisters, Alexis and Delaney. He plays catcher and has been playing baseball for 14 years. His future plans are attending University of Texas Valley, majoring in communication, radio and television. His favorite baseball memory is hitting on Father's Day on the baseball field. The accomplishment he's most proud of is how close he is to how they are there to help him in any situation. His favorite quote that he lives by will always throw you just keep fouling them all. The right pitch will come, but when it does, to run the bases. By Rick Maxson. Cody
Bryce Ward. Bryce is escorted by Pamela Ward. Plays third base. He's been playing baseball 14 years. Future plans are college to transfer to Texas A&M, financing major. His favorite baseball going three rounds in the playoffs. Accomplishment most proud of, turning the Rouse baseball program around. Favorite quote. It is so easy to be average. It takes a little something to be special. Why be around Coach Urban Meyer. Thank you to all the class of 2018. Good luck in your future endeavors.
baseball fan. The Leander Independent School District, Leander, Bakersfield, on the campus of Rouse High School. For tonight's 5A contest between the Bastrop Bears and your Rouse Raiders. Today's game will be conducted inside the class. The officials were selected close to in their ruling respective file. The use of alcohol or illegal drugs is prohibited on all school property, as well as the possession of illegal evidence in public use. The use of tobacco products is forbidden. Friendly competition is forbidden school sports. The visiting team and their guests are a guest. Show courtesy and sportsmanship. You are reminded to out on the field until players and officials have an opportunity to game. These are high school athletes performance. They are friendly riders, not an event for your attendance. Get ready for the joy and special of these talented students from these two private schools.
Raider Field and Leander, Texas. Rouse Raider baseball on the air. Hello, everyone. Good evening on this Tuesday night. Brad Tillery here with you. Michael Francis will join us in just a bit as he is doing double duty again tonight, doing the public address system over here. And it is the final game of the regular season for the Rouse Raiders. Senior night, so that's what we've been watching here on the pregame. I think you've been able to watch. See all of the pregame festivities, people getting announced, families coming up, a good chance to really put everything in perspective as we finish out the regular season between the Rouse Raiders and the Bastrop Bears. Rouse last night coming off a big victory, and maybe an understatement. It was a no-hitter last night. Jared Southern. He had 10 strikeouts in the game, throwing no. He did walk four, but very good night on the mound for him. Some positive momentum for him on the mound going into playoff time. As we get ever so close to that time of the year. It's actually going to start next week. Here are the starting lineup for tonight's ball game. First for the Bastrop Bears, who come in with an 11-15 record. 2-13 in district play tonight. Will be their last game of the season. Bastrop from Texas, just outside of Austin. In center field, leading off, it'll be Cleric. Second, the first baseman, Mark Willoughby. Third, the second baseman, Cameron Watt. In the cleanup spot, Cameron Frost. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Caleb Boujama. In the sixth spot, the left fielder, Cade Balosic. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Brock Whitner. Batting eighth, the catcher, Chandler Ingram. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, Jacob Farrow. On the mound tonight for Bastrop, it will be Bryson Adair. The Rouse Raiders taking the field right now. Here's their lineup for the ball game. With a record of 23-9-1. They're 12-3 and 12-3 in district play. The Raiders from right here in Leander, Texas. Second baseman Nick Hempel to lead it off. Batting second, the right fielder Dalton Porter. Batting third, the designated hitter Jared Southern. In the cleanup spot, the catcher Cody Vanoy. Batting fifth, the center fielder Hayden Thomas. Batting sixth and on the mound tonight, Ramos Caro. Batting shortstop John Dominguez. In the eighth spot, the first baseman Matt Bazemore, and the left fielder Cody Kelch. On the mound tonight, the Rouse Raiders regular season finale. It is Ravi Ramos Caro. Caleb Diaz, by the way, will play third this evening. We're going to step aside, let you hear the anthem. We come back first pitch between the Bastrop Bears and the Rouse Raiders here on SHN Sports.
Around the globe, playing with the national anthem.
The anthem has been played. It is played. It is time for a little baseball Tuesday evening. Beautiful Tuesday night here in Leander. 86 right now outside. It's going to drop as we get later into the night. The wind blowing right to left, out straight out towards left field. Brad Tillery, Mr. Michael Francis will join us here in just a little bit for this regular season finale Raiders and the Bastrop Bears. It's a big game for Rouse, even though it is the last game of the regular season, and they do have a playoff spot wrapped up. But here's why. Georgetown has the district. They're undefeated in district. We'll finish that out tonight. But Rouse and Cedar Park are tied for that second spot. Remember the top four teams in the district make the playoffs. They both have 12 and 3 records. Right now, we actually don't know what the playoff situation would be. They end up tied. Not sure if it'd be a play-in game to decide what that last position would be between the two clubs. Talking to the coach earlier. Didn't sound like we knew exactly what was going on there. The other interesting spot in the fourth playoff spot. Elgin and Hutto. Only one game apart. Elgin's got to play Cedar Park tonight. Hutto, however, gets to play Cedar Creek. So if Chalk hold, and Cedar Park beats Elgin and Hutto, you would think those two teams will have a playoff for the final spot in the district to make the playoffs there. The teams who do make the playoffs will be matched up with 25A. Right now, it looks like Rouse will either play the Tomball or Tomball Memorial, one of the two coming out of that district. Maybe Brenham, depending on everything shakes out there. Tomball Memorial and Brenham are tied through 12 games of district play in District 5A. Robbie Ramos Caros finishing up his warm-up tosses. And we are set to play baseball here on this Tuesday evening. Back-to-back games between these two teams. Bastrop played last night against Rouse as well. As we already mentioned, Bastrop was no hit by this Rouse club. Jared Southern was doing work. Leading off for Bastrop, it's the center fielder Cody Van Cleric. Hits from the left side. He's heading to Blaine College. Barehand grip on the bat. The first pitch from Ramos Caros. Called for a strike on the outside corner. We're underway. 7:07 tonight. Nothing in one. Wind up and fire from Ramos Caro again. Down in the dirt. 1 strike. Outfield looks like this for the Rouse Raiders going left to right. It is Cody Kelch, Thomas, and Dalton Porter. Changeup's fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes out there. At the hot corner, it's Caleb Diaz, the shortstop's John Dominguez. Second baseman is Nick Hempel. At first, Matt Bazemore is Cody Vanoy. We understand there might be an echo on the broadcast. Apologies there, folks. Sure what's going on. We'll try to get it fixed. This pitch down low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cody Van Cleric. Ramos Caro delivers the breaking ball. He swung on it. Goes down on strike. There's one down in the opening frame. So a good start there for Ramos Caro. And the first baseman, Mark Willoughby. Is due up next for Bastrop. The Bears going with the black tops tonight. And the maroon numerals trimmed out in white, gray pants. The maroon ball caps with kind of the white front facing on them. And the maroon bills. This one. Away, ball one. Actually, that's their helmet. That's their ball caps. The ball caps just all maroon. Rouse with the home whites, all the way through, lettering across the chest. Trimmed out and garnered. That's line right back up the middle by Base hit for him. And the Bears have their first runner of the ball game.
That and the first hit of the series for the Bears after Jared Southern's no-no last night.
Rouse, by the way, with the white ball caps and the gold bills. 1 on, 1 out. Top half of the first as we're just underway. Cameron Nutt. Or Watt rather, hitting. That is low and away for ball one. Cameron Watts hits from the left side.
Watt?
I saw
Is it
Watt on
Watt?
the scorecard. I saw Watt on the scorecard over there.
They were calling him Nut last night.
Well, we'll see. That one's a little grounded. That one's a little grounded to the second baseman
Hippo.
for one. Relay throw in time. Relay throw in time. On the twin killing, and that will end the first inning of play. For the Bears, no runs on a hit. There were no errors. No men left on. With one half inning of play. Here come the Rouse Raiders. Here come the Rouse Raiders for the first time tonight. Rouse Raider baseball on SHN Sports. To the bottom half of the first we go. Between the Bastrop Bears and the Rouse Raiders here this evening. For Rouse, it'll be Nick Hempel, Dalton Porter, and Jared Southern to lead it off right-handed hurler Adair out there for the Bastrop Bears tonight. Hempel will hit from the right side. The Western Texas commit, standing way back in the batter's box. Slightly open stance from the right side. The first pitch to Hempel. Called for a strike. Nothing in one. Looking over the glove is Adair. And the 0-1 inside to Hempel. It actually hit him. And for Rouse is on the base pass to lead it off. Dalton Porter, the UT commit, due up next. Porter kicking the dirt around, left-hand batter's box. The defense behind Adair looks like this from left to right in the outfield. Balusik, Cody Vincleric, Caleb Bujama. As the first pitch, ripped down the right field line, and it'll drop for a base hit. Caleb Bujama couldn't find it. That's going to get past him all the way out to the wall. Around third base, Nick Hipple's on his horse. He's on his horse. Heading up third, standing up as well. Dalton Porter. It's an RBI triple, and it's a quick 1-0 lead for the Rouse Raiders. Looked like Caleb Bujama just lost that one in the sun, and when he finally found it, it squirted by.
Porter did a good job as he turned on that. Hit it right down the line.
So 1-0 your score here. Here's Jared Southern. Pitch to him, a breaking ball called for a strike inside. Nothing in one. Bottom half of the first. Rouse is already on the scoreboard. Two batters into this thing. From the stretch, Adair delivers. Taken inside. One ball, one strike. Dalton Porter stands at third after the RBI triple down the right field line. From the stretch, the kick and the 1-1. 1-1. Swung on it, missed rather. One ball, two strikes now. Center fielder Vin Clark will shade slightly to pull against Southern here, who's the no-hitter last night. Popped up, shallow right center, way up into the afternoon sun. Second Cameron Watt, he'll put it away. And there's the first out. Of the first inning. Let me see that scorecard over there. I want to make sure that says Watt. You think it says Nut? I thought it said Nut. I thought it said Watt. Oh, that says Nut. Oh, that says Nut. It just looks like a W to me. Apologies.
Now batting for your number one, Cody Vanoy.
Apologies there, Cameron. I will adjust the scorecard here the rest of the game. Here's Cody Vanoy. Cleanup man for the Raiders. He'll take the first pitch inside, ducking out of the way, and there's ball one to him. Vanoy with that slightly open stance, holding the hands, shoulder high, the 1-0 to him, breaking ball, and that will bounce just foul. Took a minute to get foul. Stay on the chalk there for a second.
Cody, kind of hesitant there, watching it bounce, and finally started to move, realizing that it could go into fair territory, and then it just eventually rolled off to the right, foul.
From the stretch. Here is a 1-1 delivery to Vanoy. Ripped into deep left center. Belusic going back on it. That's in the gap. That's going to get all the way out to the wall. An easy trot home for Dalton Porter as Vanoy has himself an RBI double. It's 2-0. And it's 2-0 the Rouse Raiders here early. Good piece of hitting by Vanoy, belt high, and just crushing one out to the gap in left center. Runner out there, looks to be Patrick Sosa. Here's Hayden Thomas. The Corpus Christi A&M from that right side, looking to build on this lead. For the Raiders, 2-0 your score. Runner at second base. One out here in the first inning. Line to left, a base hit for Thomas. Sosa will hold up at third. It's a short base hit. The corners now for the Raiders. With only one out. Three of the first four batters have gotten hits so far tonight for Rouse. And now the pitcher, Robbie Ramos Caro. Is due up.
Now batting number 11, Ramos Caro.
Robbie Ramos Caro heading to Weatherford next year for his college. We heard where all these young men are heading to college next year. Runner goes from first. Throw down to second base is short. Ball is dropped. Coming on third. Cody Vanoy. Patrick Sosa for Vanoy. Running for Vanoy. It is a stolen base. And actually, you will have Sosa coming home on the throw. 3-0 in favor of Rouse. Stolen base for Thomas. Runner at second. And time now called by the catcher, Chandler Ingram. Still only one out in the inning. The Raiders with four hits so far. 3 runs on the board. Ramos Caro, the sixth batter of the inning. From the stretch, shoulder high comes set, the breaking ball for a generous strike inside, nothing in one.
That's a good one right there. I'm going to have to remember that. Keep that one in my repertoire. Generous strike.
Right fielder struggling with the sun out there. Pitches him holding pitches. Glove up over his eyes. Swing and a miss. And that'll be a strikeout. For Robbie Ramos Caro. Second out of the ball game. Inning recorded. Bryson Adair. 2 down in the inning. Rouse leads the runner at second. And here's John Dominguez heading to SFA next year to continue his baseball playing. Leaning at the wings is Bryson Adair. He has his sign. Comes second. The runner Thomas at second. Breaking ball missed inside. For ball one. For ball one. Coaching staff for Bastrop. Really singing the praises of Chandler England behind the plate. His ability to stop balls in the dirt. Balls in the dirt. You can see it right there. Popping out, making sure nothing gets past him. The pitch. Grounded foul down the left side. 1 ball, 1 strike. It is a beautiful night for baseball, sir.
It is a very beautiful night. Gentle breeze, blowing from right to left.
It's a little unusual not to see the wind whipping around doing games with you guys.
Well, last night, the flag was just leaning against the staff. It was virtually no breeze, hardly at all in Bastrop.
Bryson Adair spins off the rubber. Thomas back into second. A 1-1 count, 2 down, 3-0 your score. Rouse on top here in the early going. The pitch, breaking ball, knifing out of the way there is John Dominguez. 2 balls and a strike. Playoff time coming up for Rouse here next week. Like I said before the broadcast started, what we don't know are the seedings just yet. Rouse could be the 2 or the 3 seed to come out of this district. 19-5A. 2-1. Hit well to left center. Clark back on it. That's over his head. All the way out to the baseball sign and left center. Thomas will trot home from second up to second base is John Dominguez. It's an RBI double for him. 4-0. Everybody hitting the ball well here in the first inning. They're getting all over Bryson Adair. Matt Bazemore. SFA next year as well. 4-0 your score. 2 away here in the bottom half of the first. The pitch. This is downstairs for ball one. 4 hits in the inning for Rouse. I actually said there was one extra earlier, but a man that reached by hit batsman. My apologies there, folks. A 1-0 pitch to Bazemore. 2 balls, no strikes. Talking about the standings and playoff time. Mentioned in the pregame. What we don't know is who will finish second in this district. And that will be important for matchups in the playoffs. 2-0 is way downstairs in the dirt. 3-ball count to Bazemore. What we don't know is if we do end up tied between Rouse and Cedar Park, how does that work? Do we have a coin flip? Do we have a playoff game this weekend? Knows for sure it seems.
Last year to determine the
3-0 missed inside low for ball 4.
We ended up having to play Georgetown to determine who was the district champion out of 19-5A. Rouse defeated Georgetown handily that game.
And that would make sense to me. Cody Kelch comes to the plate, Cameron University next year.
Now batting for your Rouse
up in Oklahoma. At that point, you have a district championship on the line, and that makes sense to me. With runners at first, and second here for Rouse, 2 away counts the ninth batter of the inning, and that is line just foul down the left side for strike 1. But here you're talking about positioning, but there's no district championship on the line. And the question I think you have to ask yourself is, would you rather come into next week's playoffs fresh, as opposed to maybe burning a starter?
Yeah, and it's going to depend on if we play on Friday night, win that next game. Will be.
One's in the dirt. Dancing out at second base. He heads back to the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Because the pitcher will have to have so many days rest. If he opted to go with Hayden Thomas.
Well, and in a best of 3 series. With Hayden Thomas, Southern turning in work that he did last night. You gotta feel good about starting rotation. Ramos Caro has shown he can hold his own over. This is now the third time I've seen him pitch as well. So you have 3 legitimate Rouse that other schools don't have the luxury of keeping those arms fresh becomes a priority.
Especially in the way the playoff series is set up. 2 out of 3.
Yep, 2-1. Hit very well into deep left. going back on it. That's over his head. That's over his head. It will bounce off the wall on a one-hop. Heading home from John Dominguez up to third on the plane Bazemore. An RBI double for Cody Kelch. And it's 5-0 in favor of Rouse.
I'll tell you what, Brad, I don't remember the last time I've seen this many doubles in one inning.
That is now 1, 2, 3 doubles and a triple in the inning. Rouse has 5 hits, 4 of them have gone for extra bases. And coaching staff for Bastrop bringing out some new baseballs. They might actually make a pitching change here early. Runners at second and third now for Rouse. The Raiders have batted around here in the first. Bryson Adair struggling. Seems like when he's getting one over the plate, and belt high. Raiders are just sitting on him.
I don't know if he's going to change him out yet. Seems like he's talking to his infield.
Not a whole lot you could do if you're the infield right now, though. A lot of these balls have been smoked out left center, and the right as well. So infield hasn't had a whole lot of work
Rouse
to do.
is definitely proving themselves a hitting ball club. The run differential is extremely wide.
Well, here's Nick Hempel for the second time in the inning. He's hit by a pitch and scored to lead this thing off. Here he steps to the plate. With 2 minutes scoring position, 2 away in the first. And the Raiders already on top, 5-0. Playoffs, by the way, will begin sometime next weekend. Is when we'll figure it all out. But it also depends on availability of ballparks. The breaking ball is taken down low and away for ball one. My understanding is that try to play a neutral site if you can.
Well, I know the way that Coach Crimpin set it up last year. We tried to play home and home, and you flipped to see who had home the first night, and he won several flips, so that game 2 was back here at Rouse. Game 3 was necessary. We played 2 here.
2-0 the count now to Nick Hempel. Runners at second and third. The righty waits. And the pitch missed up high. 3 balls, no strikes. 5 Raiders with hits already tonight. 4 of them have gone for extra bases. 12 total bases so far for the Rouse offense. 3-0. This is outside. There's ball 4, and the bases are loaded for the Raiders here with 2 away.
Loaded for Dalton Porter, who had a triple his first at bat.
We have seen Porter put a grand slam on the board once this year.
Now batting number 55.
He did it in that 28-0 rubbing of Connolly earlier this year. And here he has a chance to do it again. The lefty awaits. He tripled to right his first time. The pitch to Porter. Popped up down the right side. He got around on it. It is out of play. Raider bullpen. There's strike one. Good crowd on hand tonight. Senior night for both of these clubs. A lot of Bastrop fans made the trip up for the final game of the season as well.
That's good. Fans should support.
This 0-1 fouled off down the left side, and it's 0-2 to Porter. Center fielder Vin Clark is shading Porter to pull towards right center. From the stretch, Adair has the sign. Here's an 0-2 to Porter. Breaking ball missed in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
As you mentioned earlier, Bushma struggling with the sun in his eyes out in right field.
You can see how far he's playing Porter to pull right now too. He's only 20 feet off the line. That's not much at all. 1-2 here. In the dirt again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a long first inning. Long first inning. We're deep into this first inning.
It's been how long since the last out? We've been at 2 outs. We've been at 2 outs for
the fifth batter now. Fifth batter now. Second out. Break-even pitch. Break-even pitch. Fastball missed up high. Okay, the count is full. The count is full. Dalton Porter moving here on the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Nowhere to put Porter. Runners go. Pitches downstairs. Ball 4. Porter draws a walk after falling behind 2-0. He'll get his second. Or 2-0 rather. Try that again. Porter draws a walk after falling behind 3-0 in the count. He'll get an RBI on the walk. Everybody else moves up 90 feet. It's 6-0.
Now batting for your Rouse Raiders, number 23,
There's Jared Southern now.
He went from 0-2 to a walk.
Southern has one of the two outs right now for the Raiders. The second baseman in shallow right center. And there's one in the dirt. Ball one to him. So 6-0 now. The Raiders on top. Southern, by the way, the 12th batter of the inning so far for the Raiders. Open stance for the right-hander. 1-0. Grounded left side. Foul. Ducking out of the way. Cody Kelch. Woo. Open the door. Get on the floor. Do the dinosaur. Cody Kelch.
That's no lie. Kelch, I think, was standing on the line, which kind of fair territory, and had the ball hit him. He'd been out.
That's why they teach you third. Make sure you're standing. Couple of feet out in foul territory. One in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Nice block there by Ingram.
Adair really struggling to throw strikes right now. I think not that he can't throw strikes. Put it in the strike zone.
A little shell shock whenever he has gotten over the plate. Rouse has turned on it. It's not fooling too many batters right now. 2-1. Fouled off the plate. Jared Southern came out of his shoes on that swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He wasn't happy with himself. That's for sure.
That's like me when you're staring at a golf ball in the course. You think you're about to drill one down the fairway. Come out of your shoes. You know it's a couple of feet in front of you.
All right.
2-2 count with 2 away to Jared Southern. 6 runs home in the inning for Rouse. 12 batters to the plate so far. And the bases are full of Raiders.
That pitch pretty low. Jared pulled out the big stick, going for the slap shot. I figured you liked that hockey.
I do love my hockey. Runners move on the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And I think Porter got a little confused on the count there. The strikeout of Southern will kind of bail him out. You don't see him running until a 3-2 pitch. So instead, it's 6-0 in the inning. Third out of the Raiders send 12 men to the plate in the first inning. They get 5 knocks in the frame. 3 on. There were no errors by the Bastrop. We're through 1 complete. With the Raiders on top. 6-0 here on the SHN Sports Network. We move to the top half of the second here with the Raiders up 6-0 on the Bastrop Bears. Due up for the Bears here in second inning of play. It's the middle of the order. Cameron Frost, Caleb Bujima, Cade Belusic. Frost will hit from the right side against Ramos Caro, who gave up a hit in the first inning, but got out of it with a 4-6-3 double play. He also struck out a batter. This one popped up into right, struggling with it. He'll make the catch. Struggle with the sun there. And there's strike one. Folks, we're going to step aside here for a second. We do realize there is a problem with the audio, and we're going to try and figure it out.
Now batting for Now batting number two, Cade Belusic. Now batting number 21, Brock Whitner.
Folks, we hope to be back with you without an echo now for the broadcast, and we apologize for that. We had to call tech support and figure out what was going on. We're going to listen in here for a second and make sure we got it working as well, as there's a runner at first after the walk to Cade Balusic, and Brock Widner is at the plate for the Bastrop Bears. 2 away here in the top half of the second. And the pitch is taken down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at first. It looks like we got everything figured out here on the tech side. So again, we apologize. As throwback to first, and in there safely is Balusic standing up. Modern technology is great, folks, but sometimes it'll mess you up.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us once we were able to actually hear what was coming across the air.
There's a little chopper back to the second baseman, Hempel. He'll underhand toss to first, and the 4-3 put out will end the inning.
Definitely it was bad, and we thank you for bearing through this with us.
No runs, no runs, no hits, no errors, a man left on. We're going to recap what happened there in the second inning while we go through between innings since we were away. Cameron Frost flew out to right to start the inning. Caleb Bujama with a ground out to second base. Cade Balusic drew a walk, and then a 4-3 put out by Brock Widner to end the inning. So Robbie Ramos-Caro, the pitcher for for Rouse, has allowed 2 base runners so far through an inning and a half, a single and a walk so far. He has stranded 1. 1 was finished off with a double play. The Raiders got 6 runs in the the bottom half of the first. They did so with 5 hits. 4 of those 5 went for extra bases. 2 RBIs in the inning for Dalton Porter, 1 on an RBI triple and 1 on a RBI bases loaded walk. An RBI double for Cody Vanoy, an RBI double for John Dominguez, an RBI double for Cody Kelch. So a lot of work done at the plate for the Rouse Raiders there in the bottom half of the first. And that is where their 6-0 lead comes from, as they sent 12 men to the batter's box in that opening stanza. Looks like Rouse is going to send somebody new on.
Number 48, Reagan Hibbs. Now pitching number 48, Reagan Hibbs.
And we don't have Reagan on the roster over here, my friend.
He played left field for him last night.
All right. Reagan Hibbs will take the mound now for
Bastrop.
That's
where the mix-up is.
There's the mix-up. Yeah, I tell you, one thing goes wrong, everything seems to go wrong when you're getting a little confused over here. So Reagan Hibbs will pitch for Bastrop now. I had it out there as looking on the other roster for the wrong side, looking at the Rouse roster. Bryson Adair, he goes 1 inning, allows 5 hits, 6 runs. All of them are earned. He did strike out 2. He also walked 3 and hit a batter. No wild pitches. And, of course, he's in line for the loss right now as Reagan Hibbs, the left-hander, and a freshman will take the mound here for the Bastrop Bears.
Number 1, Cody Vanoy.
Hibbs, a pitcher that this Bastrop Bear coaching staff, talking to them, they were pretty high on him. You know, he's just a freshman. He's got a lot to learn, some growing to do. But he's gotten them some good innings, and they use the quintessential term that you hear sometimes for a lefty. He's got a rubber arm. Here's Cody Vanoy. A double, an RBI, and a run scored for him to start the ball, or in the first inning, rather. Pitch from Hibbs. And the breaking ball called for a strike. Letter high, 0-1 the count to Vanoy. From the windup, the pitch, Vanoy rips one down the right field line. That'll float foul, slicing one about 15, 20 feet right of the foul line, rather. 0-2 the count to Vanoy. We might try to recap some of the things we talked about in that first inning, as we understand it was echo, 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 echo the entire time. 0-2, fastball, woo, just off the plate. The catcher, Ingram, thought it was strike 3. He was about to toss that one down and go around the horn with it. I'll be honest with you, I thought it was strike 3 as well.
Yeah, we had some of that go on last night where Vinoy thought he was strike 3 and did the same thing, went to throw it around, and it was no call.
Breaking ball there, missed upstairs. 2-2 now to Vinoy. He works the count back to even. Wind up. Hips delivers. Fastball fouled off as Vinoy protects the plate. So in the first inning, we kind of chatted a little bit about the playoff implications of this game. Understanding that Bastrop is not heading to the playoffs, but we do know that Rouse will be. The question is, are they going as the 2 or the 3 seed? There's a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Gets past the catcher, Ingram, and safe first is Cody Vinoy. A strikeout and a wild pitch. But nobody out in the inning, and a runner at first now for the Rouse Raiders. Hayden Thomas due up next. Vinoy will get a pinch runner. Patrick Sosa will courtesy run here. Sosa scored earlier when courtesy running.
Now batting for your Rouse Raiders, number 10, Hayden Thomas.
Hayden Thomas due up to the plate now. So this Rouse club really trying to decide or fighting for that second spot in the 19-5A standings. This is hit high in the air, deep left center field it goes. Vin Clark back on it in the gap. He'll track it down just in front of the wall. Sosa was almost to second base. He'll have to scamper back to first. It's a fly out for Thomas, and there's one away. Hit the ball well. And the pitcher, Robbie Ramos-Caro, due up. He's 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time.
Number 11, Robbie Ramos-Caro.
Cedar Park and Rouse came into the game with the exact same record. Runner goes from first. That's fouled off down the right side. Sosa will get his wind sprints in, heading back to first base. Nothing in 1 the count. Cedar Park with a game tonight that they're favored to win. And assuming they do, and assuming Rouse holds on here with a 6-0 lead, we're not quite sure how it'll play out. If there's going to be a playoff game for that second and third spot, as throwback to first chases in Sosa, or if they're going to flip a coin. And we talked about it in the first inning, and hopefully you heard some of the conversation, but it's really a strategic question for both coaching staffs about saving the arms. Do you want to play that extra game, as the 0-1's called for a strike at the knees, 0-2?
There's one of those generous strikes that you mentioned earlier. It's like Seth Francis getting loose in the Raider bullpen. Senior night, and typically the coaches try to get all the seniors into the game some way, somehow.
That pitch missed outside. 1 ball, 2 strike count to Ramos-Caro. Don't forget, too, there's a battle for the final playoff spot in this district going on tonight. As the runner goes, the 1-2, a swing and a miss and a breaking ball inside. Taking second, though, is Patrick Sosa. Strikeout number 2 of the night for Ramos-Caro at the plate. Second strikeout of the inning recorded by Reagan Hips. And they're 2 away.
Now batting number 6, John Dominguez.
Sosa with the swipe of second. Runner there now, and here's John Dominguez, who doubled and scored his first time. His double also produced an RBI. Right-hander Dominguez stands ready in the pitch, taken outside for ball 1. 2 away here in the frame. Bottom half of the second after Rouse put up a 6 spot in the first. From the stretch, Reagan Hips checks the runner back at second base. Here's the 1-0. Grounded off the chalk and then foul towards the third base dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pitch in on the hands. Dominguez just gets the thin part of the barrel on the ball and fouls it off to the left. Now we got more action going in the Raider bullpen, and that may be Robbie Ramos-Caro just getting his arm loose again.
1-1 here, swing and a miss and a high fastball. Dominguez went chasing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rouse is hitting the ball well tonight. A lot of hard hit balls to the outfield, leading to extra base hits for this Raider ball club. the sun begins to slowly set. Runner dancing off a second, and he's able to force a balk by Reagan Hips. Patrick Sosa should be credited with that one. He started to go off of second towards third, hit the brakes about 25, 30 feet off the bag. You could hear the Bastrop defender screaming, "Runner, runner, runner," and then Reagan Hips just kind of stopped himself in the middle of the pitch.
That's a freshman mistake.
1-2 there is up high for ball 2.
From Reagan Hibbs, and just showing the inexperience.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. A runner 90 feet from home, and the break even is upside and high. Count runs full now to Dominguez. Playoffs begin next weekend, or sometime next week. Could be the weekend, could be Thursday, Friday. We're not quite sure. Playoff rounds, all a best of 3, as this a payoff pitch swung on and missed at a breaking ball. And Hips strikes out 3 in the inning. Leaves a man stranded 90 feet from home as well. No runs, no hits, no errors. And 1 man left on for the Raiders in the second. We are through 2 complete with the Rouse Raiders on top 6-0. This is Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Six 0 the Raiders on top of the Bastrop Bears as we move to the top half of the 3rd inning here in Leander tonight. Robbie Ramos-Caro will stay on the hill to face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for this Bastrop Bear lineup. Chandler Ingram, the catcher, to lead it off.
Number 7, Chandler Ingram.
Ingram will hit from the right side, as Ramos-Caro has allowed just 1 hit through his first 2 innings. He's also struck out a batter. Ingram shows bunt, pulls back, and the fastball just missed the plate for ball 1. Outfield playing very shallow against Ingram, as the 1-0 is taken outside again. Ball 2 now to him. Ramos-Caro has walked 1 as well tonight. Fastball there. Just missed down low, I guess. 3 balls, no strikes. Looked like a good pitch there from Robbie Ramos-Caro. 3-0. That one called for a strike, although the catcher Vanoy couldn't handle it. You don't see it too often that the ump will give it to him. 3-1 there. Hardest time of the night for the hitters right now is this 3-1 is taken in the dirt, and there's ball 4. So the leadoff man for Bastrop is on, as the catcher Ingram takes first base, and here is Jacob Ferrum, left-handed batter and the designated hitter in this Bear lineup.
Now batting number 12, Jacob Ferrum.
I mentioned it's the hardest time of the night to hit right now. It's because you're right at that dusk period, making the ball a little tougher to pick up, and the lights haven't fully taken over as the throwback to first gets Ingram diving in safely back in the back.
Now, the outfielders definitely have to be relieved that the sun is no longer in their eyes.
First pitch popped out of play by Farrell behind the plate. All the way back beyond the bleachers as well. Strike one to him. Throw back to first, and they're just standing up on the tag is Ingram.
And Ingram just getting back in.
Yeah, he's a little casual there, scampering back into the bag.
Yeah, he was.
Throw back again. This time he dives in safely.
Good crowd tonight. Seen several alums out in the stands. Brandon Edlund, Tim Francis.
There's one in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jacob Farrell. A lot of folks here supporting senior night as Coach Crampine's going to walk out to the mound and talk to his hurler, Robbie Ramos-Caro. A 1 ball, 1 strike count to the 9th batter in the order, Jacob Farrell. And a runner at first here for the Bastrop Bears in the top half of the third. 6-0, Rouse is on top with a 6-run first inning. Raiders came out just pounding the ball all over the yard. They wore that left center field gap out. Meeting at the mound will adjourn.
That was short-lived.
Looked
Knew
like
he
a
wasn't making any changes.
Looked like a pretty one-sided conversation.
Yeah. Like, don't walk this guy.
A ball and a strike. Bastrop still with just 1 hit in the ball game. That was the second batter of the game in the first inning. Mark Willoughby with a single back through the box. The 1 batting glove look here for Jacob Farrell as he stands back in that left-hand batter's box, crowding the plate. Fastball's in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. They got the runner cut off the first, and a ball gets past Bazemore on the throw down by Vanoy. Moving up to second on the plate, Chandler Ingram. That's a throwing error on Cody Vanoy. Just the 8th error in district play for the Rouse Raiders. And a runner at second now with 1 away, or nobody else. 2-1 the count.
Ingram, the first Bear to reach second against the Raiders.
And a ground ball right side past our Bazemore and into right field. That's going to get all the way to the wall as Porter was playing short. Coming home from second, it's Ingram. Farrell's going to move all the way to third on the play. He's got himself an RBI triple. And the Bears are on the board. 6-1 your score.
Vanoy regretting that throwing error. That run that just scored.
I don't think it would have mattered with a runner at third. Triple would have scored him anyway from first.
Well, he would have been out when he made that throw down to first.
Oh, yeah, they had the runner off. Thank you, sir. Some water's being delivered up here. We appreciate the good folks. True, had the throw been accurate, would have been out at first base. Good folks here at Rouse taking care of us with keeping the vocal cords nice and moist. Tell you what, you're not careful with it, they can start hurting after a while without the fluid. Throw to second.
Farrell missed.
Yeah, he
didn't
missed the
step
bag.
on the bag.
Okay, there's an out. Out number 1 in the inning on the appeal. Didn't touch the bag. Base is empty now. 1 out in the frame. Still 6-1 score as the run for Ingram does count. Tell you what, that's a lot to catch, but the umpire good to catch it on just a 2-umpire crew. There's a bunt beautifully laid down the first base side. Bouncing off the mound, Ramos-Caro. He'll take it himself, and a little pitch to Bazemore for the second out of the inning. Good idea there by Van Clark. That ball would have gone about another 5 feet. He's probably got himself a base hit. 2 away in the frame. And here is Mark Willoughby. Willoughby with a single back in the first inning. One of the 2 hits tonight for Bastrop. A lot of left-handed bats in this Bastrop lineup. There's a swing and a miss at a good breaking ball from Ramos-Caro. An 0-1 count. Looking over the glove, he nods yes, winds and fires. And the breaking ball just missed inside. Count even now at 1-1.
That was a good-looking pitch.
I've seen a few tonight that I thought were pretty good. 1-1, fouled off, back behind the screen and out of play. 1-2 now to Mark Willoughby. So the base is empty. 6-1 your score. Rouse leads. Bastrop did have a runner at third, but Jacob Farrell missed touch in the back at second on his triple. There's a grounder to the second baseman Hempel. Little soft one. He'll throw to first in plenty of time. 4-3 on that put out, and that will end the frame. The Bastrop Bears do get a run. They do so on one hit. There was an error, and there were no men left on base. We are through 2.5 with the Rouse Raiders on top 6-1. This is Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. We head to the bottom half of the third with the Rouse Raiders on top 6-1. Special thanks, by the way, to Mr. Scott Mount for bringing us the waters a second ago, the Booster Club president for Rouse Raider Baseball. Due up for the Raiders here in the third frame, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 batters. Matt Bazemore to lead it off. He drew a walk and scored his first time up. He'll face the lefty Reagan Hips, who's out there for his second inning of work. By the way, the run in the top half of the first actually will go as an unearned run, despite the triple. I'll explain why here in a second, as there's a called strike, 0-1. Because the appeal happened at second base, you actually can't count that hit for anything more than a single. So when you recreate the inning, you would have had runners at first and second, and that would have been it, as there's a pitch outside off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefty Bazemore with that slightly open stance. Waits the pitch, and that's way outside. 2 balls and a strike now.
Interesting when you see a lefty-lefty matchup at how that can throw a left-hand pitcher off. I know my middle son, he's a left-handed pitcher, and he hated throwing to a lefty.
There's a foul ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, as a left-handed hitter, I hit lefty as a kid. You didn't see too many lefties until you got to 13, 14 years old. I hated hitting against lefties. It's just you're not used to the ball coming from that side.
Right.
We actually had to, as the 2-2 here, breaking ball, called for a strike 3. I guess that was letter high. And there's 1 away. That's the 4th strikeout for Hips since entering the ball game. His second inning of work. 1 out. Here's Cody Kelch, who had an RBI double his first time up.
Now batting, number 14, Cody Kelch.
Cody Kelch up to bat, hitting from the left side. He ripped one into left his first time up over the head of the left fielder Belusic, and he takes a called strike, 0-1. Wind up in the fire from Hips. Kelch swings and misses, and a breaking ball inside. 0-2 now. Bastrop, or excuse me, Rouse, you could see kind of in that first inning, got all over Bryson Adair, the starter, who lasted just 1 inning for Bastrop, and seems like they're getting a little less patient at the plate after hitting the ball well early. Time called there as Hips was beginning to go into his motion. Lefty on the mound, just a freshman, so I'm sure Rouse will see plenty more of him over the years as that fastball is taken up high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Next year, they will not actually be in a district with Rouse, as Bastrop and Cedar Creek both will go down to Division II.
There's a little pop-up in the infield. Off the mound goes Hips. He'll make the catch. 2 away in the inning. So how will that actually affect the district for, or who, any replacements, or will the district shrink here in 19-5A?
The district will actually get smaller. I would actually have to go in and pull up. I believe I have that information for our new district. It will mirror the basketball district. It will not reflect the football district.
Nick Hempel up for the 3rd time, and there's a fastball taken way outside. Ball 1 to him. Hempel has yet to have an official at bat tonight. He's been hit by a pitch and scored, and he walked. 2 outs, bases empty here for Rouse in the bottom half of the 3rd. 6-1, the Raiders lead. Hips has really come in and settled this game down for Bastrop. 1-0, misses up high. 2 balls, no strikes. He's retired 5 in a row, and actually, you could say he's retired every batter he's faced. Cody Vanoy reached on a strikeout, but it was a 3rd pitch, wild pitch that got away from the catcher Ingram and allowed Vanoy to reach. 2-0 here. Check swing and a pitch up high. Did he go on the appeal? He did not. And it's ball 3 to Hempel. Hempel touching the far side of the plate with the bat as he gets back in his stance. The 3-0 here. Fastball taken all the way. 3 balls and a strike. Big gap in right center for Hempel to work here, if he so wants it. This 3-1. Breaking ball. Ooh, slides back across the outside corner of the plate. Good pitch there by Hips. 2 run the count full there. 3-2. Payoff due. Hempel fouls it back into the screen, and we'll do it again. SHN Sports will have the playoff action here for Rouse this year. We said we just don't know the schedule yet, so stick with us. Check Rouse's Twitter feed. Check SHN's Twitter feed. We'll be able to get you some information as time was called there. Hips was about to go into the motion. I can tell you Mr. Francis will be on every call.
I will be there. For sure.
Payoff here. Slider grounded up the middle. Little chopper to the shortstop. Frost coming towards the bag at second. Throws across the diamond. It's in time. 6-3 on the putout. And it's a 1-2-3 inning worked by the freshman Reagan Hips. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on for the Rouse Raiders. We are through 3 complete. 6-1 your score. The Raiders continue to lead here at home on senior night. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. We head to the
Pitching for your Rouse Raiders, number 7.
bottom half of the fourth here. Apologies, lost track of what inning we were in. To the bottom of the fourth we go. 6-1 your score as the Rouse Raiders stay on top of the Bastrop Bears. And a new hurler is on the mound for the Raiders. It is the right-hander and offspring of the man sitting to my left. Mr. Seth Francis is on the mound. Senior winds and fires, and he delivers one outside to Cameron Nutt. 0-1 the count. Nutt grounded into a double play his first time.
Number 6, Cameron Nutt.
The 1-0 delivery, fastball. That one called for a strike as the sidewinder puts it across the plate. 1-1. Robbie Ramos-Caro will move to shortstop. His night is done on the mound. 3 innings, 2 hits. A run, it was unearned. He struck out 1 and walked 2. That one lined right back up the middle. A base hit there for Cameron Nutt to start the 4th inning of play for Bastrop. So a runner at first. Here comes Cameron Frost. Spells his name different from the man who hits before him at the plate. Cameron Nutt, C-A-M-R-Y-N. Cameron Frost, the more traditional C-A-M-E-R-O-N. First pitch to Frost, swing and a miss at a slider downstairs. 0-1 the count. Understand that, as you said earlier, Seth's brother's in attendance tonight as well for senior night. The pitch called for a strike, 0-2. Batter should be able to pick up the ball a little better now. Lights have begun fully taking over here at the ballpark, and even from back here, it's just much easier to see the baseball just an inning later. Runner at first for Bastrop is Cameron Nutt. An 0-2 count to Cameron Frost. Slider popped in the air, right center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Up around second base, heading to third is Nutt, and there'll be runners at the corners to start the 4th for the Bastrop Bears with nobody else. Kind of an unfortunate at-bat there, and a good piece of hitting by Frost because that ball was pitched on the inside corner, and Frost just, with a little inside-out swing, able to pop one into right center.
Now batting number 4, Caleb Bujima.
Here's Caleb Bujima. Bujima 0 for 1. He grounded out to the second baseman his first time, as that's a swing and a miss. Bujima actually stepped out of that swing. Looked like he moved his foot down towards the first baseline versus stepping towards the pitcher there. 0-1 the count. Bujima heading to Texas next year as a throwback to first chases in Frost. I got told Bujima, though, heading there not to play baseball, but on an academic scholarship. So good luck to him on the 40 acres. Seth Francis works from the stretch. 0-1 here. Hit in the air to left field, coming in, then back. Cody Kelch, he's under it. He'll call for it, make the catch. Tagging at third, it's a bluff there by Cameron Nutt. And with 1 away, there are still runners after the corners. Now with 1 away, with 1 out. (6-1) the score. Rouse leads in the top half of the 4th. Here's Cade Belusic, who walked his first time.
Now batting number 2, Cade Belusic.
Belusic takes the bat low through the zone on the inside half as he stands in from the right side. That slider of Francis should tail away pretty hard from Belusic, as now time is called. Francis holding the ball, dangling in the right arm as the runner goes from first. That one misses outside. Vinoy can't come up with it. And it's a straight steal there for Cameron Frost. Runners now at second and third for Bastrop with 1 out.
John Dominguez getting loose in the Raider bullpen.
Outfield straightaway. The right fielder Porter very, very shallow against Belusic. This 1-0. This is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 4 hits now in the game for Bastrop. 2 of them have come this inning. That one hit deep into left field down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is not gone, actually. I apologize. Off the wall. 2 runs will score. Up to second, Belusic with a double. And it's a 6-3 ball game. My fault, folks. I thought that off the bat. That was going to get out of here if it stayed fair down the line because he really turned on it. Instead, it's a 2-run double off the left field wall. 7-3 your score. Time called, and here comes the head coach for the Rouse Raiders. And Seth Francis looks like his night will be done. John Dominguez will come in to pitch for the Raiders. Dominguez started the night at shortstop. And Dominguez will take over. 6-3 your score in favor of the Rouse Raiders. We'll step aside real quick and come back with the runner at second base. 1 away for Bastrop here on SHN Sports.
for sale by the concession stand. So if you need a ticket, come on down and see us.
(6-3) now your score. Bastrop scratched across 2 so far here in the 4th inning of play, and a new hurler on the mound out there for the Rouse Raiders. It's John Dominguez, the right-hander, and for Seth Francis, here's Brock Widner, who grounded out to second his first time up. Widner standing off the plate there. Well, that open stance from the right-hand batter's box. Runner at second. The first pitch missed outside. Ball 1 to Widner. Third pitcher tonight now being used for the Raiders. From the stretch, here's the fire. That one's called for a strike at the knees, 1-1. Dominguez working from the far third base side of the rubber. A 1-1 delivery. That one, a fastball down Broadway, 1-2. Rouse really needs to try to get out of this jam, having given up 2 runs in the inning. Lead now cut in half. This was a 6-0 game. It's now 6-3. 1-2 from Dominguez, blown right by Brock Widner. Strike out of him, and that's the second out of the inning. Here comes Chandler Ingram, who walked and scored his first time up.
Chandler Ingram.
Scored the first run of the game for the Bears, in fact. Dominguez coming set. Bell tie here. Checking the runner back at second base. Nobody holding him with 2 away. Infield plays back. And the fastball called for a strike, 0-1. And right now it looks like Bastrop just can't catch up to the heat of John Dominguez. Here's the 0-1, fastball up high. The ball and a strike. Rouse scored all 6 of their runs back in the first inning, doing so on 5 hits. In fact, the Raiders have not had a hit since that opening frame. Checking the runner now, throwing to second, covering late Nick Hempel. Cade Balusik just got in there standing up. Sneaky little play there by Rouse.
A good job by Hempel getting over. They work on that, and the coach tells the pitcher to throw to the bag. So they're relying on the second baseman or the shortstop based on the call.
1-1 called for a strike on the inside corner. Ball and 2 strikes now to Chandler Ingram, the 8th batter in the order. Ingram, the 6th man at the plate this inning for Bastrop. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball missed way outside and high. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Bare hand grip on that bat for Chandler Ingram. Break even pitch, swung on and missed. Fastball just blazes by him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dominguez coming in on a relief, and that will end the inning for the Bears. Bastrop, though, picks up a couple of runs. They do so on 3 hits. There were no errors, and 1 man was left on base. We're halfway home, actually, here at the ballpark. 6-3 your score. Rouse on top on SHN Sports.
At the inning, the boot passers are ready to rock it. So come on, people, dig deep into your pocket.
We move to the bottom half of the 4th with the Rouse Raiders on top 6-3 against the Bastrop Bears tonight here on senior night in Leander. And for the Raiders, it'll be the 2-3-4 hitters due up. Dalton Porter, Jared Southard, Cody Vanoy. Face Reagan Hips, who's in his 3rd inning of relief. Hips has struck out 4 so far and retired the last 6 that he's faced.
Now batting for your Rouse Raiders, number 55.
Only man to reach base against him was actually a strikeout wild pitch. So a wild pitch on a strike 3 swinging that allowed the runner to move to first base. Porter has tripled and scored. He has walked once, and he's driven in 2. As the first pitch to him is called for a strike, 0-1. Catcher Ingram trying to grab some chalk off the line over there to get a little better grip on that ball. The 0-1 tipped back into the glove. of Ingram, and it's 0-2 now. Left-hander Hips has really settled this game down for Bastrop. Bedoy trying to break the rhythm, or excuse me, Porter trying to break the rhythm. Steps out of the batter's box, taking a deep breath. Bottom of the fourth, each team with 5 hits so far. Bastrop trying to come back after being down 6-0. It's a 6-3 ball game. Here's an 0-2. Porter swings and misses at a high slider. That is strikeout number 5 since entering the game for Hips. And there's one down. Here is Jared Southern. Oh, excuse me. Caleb Diaz is going to hit for Jared Southern here.
So they'll burn the DH. And Diaz will be hitting for himself.
Confirmation here with the head coach, I think, for the umpires. He steps out of the batter circle. So Diaz will hit from the right side. Jared Southern will end 0 for 2 tonight with a pop out and a strikeout. Wind in the fire. Diaz takes one outside. Ball 1 to him. Left-hander Hips with a 1-0 delivery. And there's a called strike, man. That high strike has been there all night from this umpire. 1-1. Anything around letters, you better be swinging.
That's that generous strike you had mentioned earlier.
1-1 called for a strike on the inside half that time. 1-2 the count now. Open stands for Diaz in that right-hand batter's box. Outfield playing straight away against him at normal depth, and he'll step out and kind of kick the dirt around. This one grounded right side down the line. Fair ball. Or they call it foul. I didn't see a motion from the ump, did you?
Well, definitely not from the field ump. The umpire, the home plate umpire, motion foul. I mean, to me, it looked like a fair ball as it went over the bag. As long as it's in fair territory over the bag.
I thought that looked fair myself, pretty clearly. Instead, it's a 1-2, and it's taken up high to even up the count to Diaz. Hips delivers a break even. Swing and a miss by Diaz. Another strikeout for Reagan Hips. 2 away in the inning. He has now struck out 6 batters. So with 2 out in the frame, here's Cody Vanoy, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI double back in the first and a run scored. I should say Patrick Sosa actually scored the run. It was courtesy running for Vanoy. The pitch missed up high. Ball 1 to him. Reagan Hips has come in and just grinded this offense to a halt for the Raiders tonight. The slider is inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, he really has. He had the one mistake on the balk. But that's it. He has been solid.
There's a fastball outside and high, 3-0. He's only allowed one man to reach base. And that man was on a wild pitch via strikeout, like we mentioned. So since then, he has retired 8 straight. And there is a called strike on the inside corner, 3-1 now to Cody Vanoy.
Yeah, Vinoy was taking all the way.
Green light here for Vinoy in the 3-1. Fouled off. Out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to the Rio Grande Valley commit. Bottom half of the 4th. Ball game about an hour and 23 minutes old now. Payoff pitch here with 2 away, and the base is empty. Fouled off again, and we'll reset the situation. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 6-3 your score. Rouse on top of Bastrop, bottom half of the 4th. Cody Vinoy at the plate, the catcher for the Raiders. Here's the pitch from the reliever Hips. In the dirt, there's ball 4. So that's the first walk he's issued. First man to reach base in a couple innings for the Raiders. This one with 2 away. Patrick Sosa will courtesy run.
Now batting for your Raiders, number 10, Hayden Thomas.
Hayden Thomas coming up to bat. Thomas is 1 for 2. He's hit both of them well, though. Single and a run scored back in the 1st, as that is hit well down the left field line, but he got around on it just a little bit too fast. Strike 1 to Thomas. A noisy one at that, though.
Yeah, that went over the fence in the foul area. Not sure if it had the distance in fair, but it would have been really close.
Kind of angles in just a little bit out there and left, but it would have at least been a double and it been fair. His other at-bat tonight, by the way, a deep fly out to left center. He hit it on the nose. This one 0-1. This is up high. 1 ball, 1 strike to Thomas. Hayden Thomas earlier in the season actually was hitting about 8th in the lineup. Remember that Cedar Park series? Hitting way down the lineup, and then he hit the ball well that weekend. And since then, he's been up in the lineup up to as high as 2 and kind of settled into the middle of the order. Runner goes. There's a bunt shown. It's fouled off, 1 and 2.
Hell, Thomas last night, he had a double, a single, 2 singles. One of them was on a bunt.
A ball and 2 strikes to Hayden Thomas. 2 outs and a runner at first for the Rouse Raiders, up 6-3 here in the bottom half of the 4th. On the stretch, Hips checks his runner. Runner goes. That one popped up about 10 feet from the plate in foul territory. Catcher Ingram calling for it, and he will drop it in fair territory. The ball worked its way back fair out of the wind. And there are runners at first and second on an error by the catcher. That ball was popped up a mile high.
Now batting for the Rouse Raiders, number 11.
Rouse catching a break. Here's Robbie Ramos-Caro, who has struck out twice swinging. That ball started in foul territory, worked its way back fair. It's probably popped up a good 30, 40 feet in the air. That's called for a strike to Robbie Ramos-Caro. And the catcher, Ingram, just had all kinds of fits with it. 0-1 the count. Runners at first and second. That one grounded down the left side. It will be a fair ball. That's a fair ball, and the umpire at home just missed it. The umpire at home called it foul, but that's a fair ball. It bounced foul at first, but it got over the bag into fair territory, and it's not a foul ball until it gets to either the first or third base bag. I hate banging on a home plate umpire or any umpire at the high school level, but that was a fair ball. Without question, that's a fair ball. 0-2 the count as the RBI is taken away from Robbie Ramos-Caro. The ball can be foul in foul territory all day long, but it's not a foul ball until it's either touched in foul territory or the ball gets past the bag. That's the rule.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't appeal to the infield umpire and at least bring it into.
It's not the infield umpire's call until it gets to the bag, and he can't appeal it because once the ball is called foul, the play stops.
Okay.
You can appeal it the other way, but not that way. 0-2 here, fouled off down the right side as the first base coach dances out of the way. Still an 0-2 count. Rouse.
Yeah, that's interesting right there. I mean, it's, like you said, it's not a foul ball if it comes back in the field of play as long as it does before it reaches the first or the third base.
And that ball had some wicked English on it, but it clearly bounced inside the bag in fair territory. Runners at first and second, 2 away, an 0-2 count to Ramos Caro. The pitch, slider, popped up, out of play down the right side. Count will stay where it is. Outfield playing shallow against Robbie Ramos Caro. As a hitter, you got to wonder how he's thinking right now. Throwing the ball behind the back is Hips. Here's the 0-2. Misses high and away. That's to the backstop. The runners will each move up 90 feet. So Sosa moves to third. Hayden Thomas up to second on the wild pitch.
Well, I think we need to make that call to New York and have it reviewed.
Couple of runners in scoring position here with a 1-2 count to Ramos Caro. Like I said, these umpires, they try their best, and it's high school, and they can put in a lot of hours, and it goes unappreciated at times, but you got to call them like you see them, too. The 1-2, a little ground ball down the third base line. It is fair. Backhand play by the third baseman, Widmer. He's not going to get there in time. 1 run scores. Coming home safely from around second is Hayden Thomas. 2 runs home on the play. It's an 8-3 game. Robbie Ramos Caro beating the play out at first, but maybe more impressively, the aggressive base running there by Rouse as Hayden Thomas comes all the way around from second base to cash in on the error. 8-3 your score.
Now batting for your Rouse Raiders, number 6, John Dominguez.
Here's John Dominguez now with an RBI double back in the first. He did score a run. Runner at first base. Rouse back up by 5 now, and that one's in the dirt for ball 1. Ball twirling behind the back of Hips. Dominguez takes it high and tight. 2-0 the count now to him. Good base running there in the last play by the Rouse Raiders. Aggressive base running. Hayden Thomas came racing around third and got in behind the tag of the catcher Ingram. Kind of caught Bastrop off by surprise, I think. Throw back to first, and they're standing up safely is Robbie Ramos Caro. Runner goes. That's popped up. Foul territory down the right side. Near the first base dugout, the first baseman, Willoughby, can't find it, and it's going to fall harmlessly to the ground. And a strike
he lost
to
that.
Caro.
That light standard is just right there. He lost it in the lights, and he's probably still seeing spots.
Well, Dominguez gets new life here. And a 2-1 count. (8-3) now your score. The Raiders are on top. 6 hits in the ball game for Rouse. 1 error. 3 runs on 5 hits and an error for Bastrop. 2-1 to Dominguez. Popped up down the right side. It's slicing into foul territory. First baseman Bujima can't get to it. Falls just in front of him. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Bujima running over from his right field spot. Just couldn't quite get there.
The ball, he had a shot at it, I think, with a sliding attempt. But I don't know if he kind of lost it at the last second there or just a little too far out of his reach. 2-2 the count. The runner at first is Ramos Caro. Hips comes set. Runner goes, and they've got him trapped between first and second. Throw back to first, and getting out of the way of the tag is Robbie Ramos Caro. First baseman Willoughby got a little too far up the line chasing Ramos Caro in the pickle. And Ramos Caro had just enough time and room to maneuver himself out of the way.
Well, Coach Crimpine, I was sitting there watching, he was giving Robbie, after he got back, he's wait for the leg to come up. He jumped early.
Really early, especially with a left-hander on the mound. Well, 2-2. Runner goes. That's lined in the air. Straightaway center. Vin Clark is there to make the grab. And that will end the fourth inning of play. The Raiders get a couple back. They do it on one infield single. There was a two-run infield single for Robbie Ramos Caro. There were one error, and there was one man left on. We're through four complete with the Raiders on top of Bastrop, 8-3. This is Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Top of the seventh, Elgin over Cedar Park. Huh? Elgin is 4. That knocks Huddle out. That knocks Huddle out.
We head to the top half of the fifth inning here in Leander with the Rouse Raiders on top 8-3 against Bastrop, due up for Bastrop in the fifth. It will be the 9-1 and 2 hitters. And some news from around the district right now. Elgin in the top of the seventh is on top of Cedar Park 3-0. That's big for two reasons. One, if that score holds, Cedar Park will...
That will give Rouse sole possession of second
assuming
place.
Rouse holds on here,
Yeah.
Rouse will get the second spot in the district. Cedar Park would fall to 3, and it's clear cut, clear as day. But also, it would mean Elgin clinches their spot in the playoffs. Elgin needs a win to guarantee their spot in the playoff as well. So it's a double-edged sword and a lot of movement out of that one game. There's a first pitch strike to Jacob Ferrum, who had an RBI single his first time. It would have been a triple,
yeah.
But he missed touching the bag at second. The 0-1 delivery from Dominguez. A swing and a miss and a fastball, 0-2. Dominguez came on in relief in the fourth after the first, or a couple of runs scored against Seth Francis. He settled it down, though, and struck out back-to-back batters to end the inning. An 0-2 pitch. Called for a strike 3 at the knees on the outside corner. 3 straight strikeouts for Dominguez since entering the game, and there's one away in the fifth. So with one out in the frame, we go back to the top of the order. Cody Van Clark heading to Blinn College next year to continue his baseball career. Blinn College has a special place in my heart. The pitch misses high and away for ball one. It is the junior college that produced Cam Newton for my Auburn Tigers. 1-0 here on the way. Vin Clark swings and misses. Fastball that he got over the top of, 1-1. Dominguez has looked good since coming in here. 1-1. Breaking ball called for a strike, 1-2. Crash Davis might say Dominguez is playing fascist-style baseball. It's all strikeouts right now.
Right.
If you don't get the reference, go rent Bull Durham right now. 1-2, misses high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tim Robbins and Bull Durham.
Did you know, and this is way off topic, but Tim Robbins in, who was the lady in the movie?
Oh, gosh.
Susan Sarandon.
Yes.
They ended up getting married. Long time.
Right.
That's actually where they met. Was on that set.
Really?
Absolutely.
In the bathroom stall?
That was Millie.
Oh, that's right.
That was Miss Millie. 2-2 the count with 1 away. This conversation got PG-13 real quick. 8-3 your score. Rouse on top of Bastrop in the final game of the regular season. The pitch, swing and a miss, and a fastball. 4 straight strikeouts now recorded by John Dominguez. 2 away in the 5th. And here comes Mark Willoughby.
Now batting, number 14, Mark Willoughby.
Willoughby is 1 for 2 tonight. He singled in the first, and he grounded out to second base in the third. Dominguez throwing heat right now for the most part. The fastball's high and away for ball one. He's not really mixing in much of anything else, just spotting fastballs. The old saying, though, the hardest pitch to hit in baseball is a well-placed fastball. A 1-0. There's one at the knees, called for a strike, tailing away from the batter Willoughby. 1-1 the count. The lefty awaits, and the fastball misses high. 2 balls and a strike. Still, everybody kind of sticking around here on senior night. Good crowd. I mentioned earlier, a lot of Bastrop fans made the trip up, too. 2-1, swing and a miss at a fastball. And that evens up the count with 2 away here in the frame. Base is empty for the Bears. Dominguez is looking for his 6th straight strikeouts. And he's only faced 6 batters so far. Here's a 2-2. Outside. Whew, that had a little extra mustard on it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Even stance for Willoughby in that left-hand batter's box. Kind of closed up, actually. Dominguez takes the deep breath as he peers glaringly over that glove. The 3-2, up high and away with a fastball, and the first man to reach against John Dominguez so far. A walk drawn by Mark Willoughby. 2 away, a man at first now for Bastrop. And here's Cameron Nutt for the 3rd time. Nutt grounded into a double play to end the first inning. And singled and scored in the 4th.
6, Cameron Nutt.
Nutt will hit from the right side. Short lead at first for Willoughby. The pitch, and Nutt takes a fastball up high as Dominguez has lost the zone a little bit here over the last couple of batters. 1-0. Whew, this is high and tight. 2 balls. No strikes to start the at-bat to Cameron Nutt.
do have some activity in the Raider bullpen. I'm not exactly sure who it is. The number is hard to make out.
Can't make it out just yet either. 2-0, fastball missed up high, 3 balls, no strikes. I love the Rouse uniforms, but as a broadcaster, I hate the Rouse uniforms because they got the light-colored numerals on the white jerseys. It's broadcaster nightmare. You want the contrast. 3-0 here, called for a strike, 3-1. It's like when you watch a football game sometimes, and some of the, like an Oregon game or something, when they're wearing the green unis, and then they'll have green numerals on them as well. It's almost impossible to read. 3 balls and a strike. And the count to Nutt. There's a swing and a miss at a fastball, 3-2.
Good thing he swung. That was up out of the zone.
Still a runner at first for Bastrop. 2 away in the frame. Count full here. Working from the stretch, Dominguez fires. Runner goes. Pitches high and tight. There's ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued by John Dominguez after striking out the first 4 that he faced. Still 2 outs in the frame. Here's Cameron Frost, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Catcher Cody Vanoy going out there to try and settle his hurler down. From the stretch, Dominguez comes set, belt high. The pitch up high for ball 1. This one a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dominguez still has good velocity. He's just kind of lost his command to keep it down low and in the strike zone.
Dominguez with that right arm dangling. Comes set at the belt here. A ball and a strike, and the fastball's popped out of play. 1-2 now the count with runners at first and second. Outfield pretty straight away here for Rouse here. Infield playing back, looking for any bag. With 2 outs, there's a breaking ball. He hadn't thrown many, but that was a well-timed one. And the strikeout is the 5th one that Dominguez has induced since entering the ball game. He strikes out the side, sandwiched between a couple of walks here in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on for Bastrop. And we will head to the bottom half of the 5th with the Rouse Raiders still holding on to an 8-3 lead here on SHN Sports. We head to the bottom half of the fifth with the Rouse Raiders still leading 8-3 over the Bastrop Bears on this senior night. Final game of the regular season for Rouse. 8-9 one-hitters due up, but we do have a pinch hitter start the frame. It looks like it's going to be number 26. I don't have that a roster over here, sir. I will depend on you.
Your Rouse Raiders, number 26, Gage Cook.
Gage Cook will pinch hit here for Matt Bazemore. So Cook getting a chance to hit. Doing so on senior night. Time called as the home plate umpire fixes the scorecard that he has. I shouldn't say scorecard, my apologies. The lineup card. Big difference. Cook adjusts the bill of the helmet there. There's a called strike at the knees. 0-1 the count to Cook. Holding those hands behind that right ear. Left-hander Hips working again. That one outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hips has been in since the second. Starter Bryson Adair really struggled. He just lasted 1 inning, gave up 6 runs on 5 hits tonight for Bastrop. That put them in an early hole as time is called. Cook steps out of the batter's box. Hips has gone the rest of the way, though. We're at the bottom of the fifth. Rouse looking to potentially wrap up the second seed in the playoffs out of this district, and there's one inside. It looked like it hit him. I guess it didn't. 2 balls and a strike. We'll try to get you an Elgin update here in a little bit. And what's going on between them and Cedar Park. 2-1, swing and a miss, 2-2 now.
Got activity in the Raider bullpen. Got 2 warming up, getting loose.
Here's a 2-2 to Cook. Inside, that one goes behind him, actually. It's 3 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, I don't know that one is pitching. I think one's just getting his arm loose. It looks like Bryce Ward may be going in to play third.
3-2. That one catches Cook on the helmet. And
got him right on the ear hole.
Whew. And it'll be a hit by pitch. And a man at first base for the Rouse Raiders to start the fifth. Cook will shake off the cobwebs down there. And looks like we have another pinch hitter, Stephen Connie. Stephen Connie is pinch hitting here for Cody Kelch. Another one of the Rouse seniors who was honored before the game. So a man at first base here for the Raiders with nobody out.
Patrick Sosa on deck.
Seen Sosa a couple of times tonight, but as a courtesy runner, as that one's inside, low, gets away from the catcher Ingram. But Cook stays at first.
Yeah, that's one of those that you can see that eating at Coach Crimpine, that Cook isn't standing at second.
From the stretch, Hips with the sign. Lefty delivers a 1-0, outside and high, ball 2. It looks like Reagan Hips kind of lost the zone the deeper he gets into the game here.
Yeah, his command seems to be fading away.
2-0 count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball just above the letters, 2-1. Short lead at first for Cook. Bunt shown, push down the first base line. That is a beauty. No man's land for the Bastrop Bears as the first baseman Willoughby and the pitcher Hips both converged on it, and no one was covering the bag.
Second baseman blew his assignment.
He
should have been moving over to first to cover the bag as pitcher and first baseman were playing the bunt.
I don't think anybody would have gotten him anyway. That ball was perfectly placed.
And he had his wheels on. He was trucking.
Stephen Connie with the bunt single. Runners at first and second now.
Now batting for your Rouse Raiders, number 4, Patrick Sosa.
There's Patrick Sosa. Another one of the seniors getting a chance to hit. Nobody out in the inning. Rouse looking for some runs. If Rouse can put a 5 spot on the board, this game will be over. Here's the pitch. Another bunt shown. That's popped up back behind the plate and foul for strike 1. Activity now going on in the Bastrop bullpen as well.
Do you have a number by chance?
I do not. Runners at first and second, a 1-strike count to Patrick Sosa. Here hitting for Nick Hempel. Sosa already showing bunt, kind of pulled back on it. You got to imagine he's going to pull it again. There's a fastball high and tight, 1-1. Looked like he was playing with the idea of bunting and then maybe just trying to get in the head of Reagan Hips.
I believe that Peyton Driggers is getting loose for the Raiders right now.
It's a 1-1 count to Sosa. There's a bunt shown, laid beautifully down the third base line. Widner comes in. Off the mound now goes Hips. He can't make the play in time as Sosa beats it out. Bases are loaded here for the Rouse Raiders, and they haven't hit a ball out of the infield in the inning. A couple of bunt singles.
Now batting number 22, Jamison Slater.
Here comes Jamison Slater, pinch hitting for Dalton Porter.
Bryce Ward on deck.
Bases loaded for the
No
Raiders.
outs.
Nobody out here. Chance for a big inning, and as we just said, a 5 spot here puts this game in into the final column in the win column. Slater awaits the pitch. The corner infielders are in, and that is popped up into shallow center back behind the second base bag. Infield fly rule has been called. Put away there by the second baseman, Nutt. And there's one out in the frame.
Now batting number 13, Bryce Ward.
Here comes Bryce Ward now, pinch hitting for Jared Southern. Bases are still full of Raiders here with a 1 out in the inning, up 8-3 in the bottom half of the 5th. From the stretch, Hips delivers. There's a line drive in the left. There's a base hit. 1 run will score. Coming around third rather from second base is Stephen Connie. He scores as well. And it's a 10-3 ball game. 2-run single there for Bryce Ward. Senior night and a pinch hit 2-run single there for Ward. Patrick Sosa moves up to second base on the play.
Now batting for
And
your
Cody
Rouse Raiders,
Vanoy,
number
excuse me, not
17,
Vanoy.
Damon Edlin.
Damon Edlin going to get a chance to hit here for Cody Vanoy. Time now called, and I think Bastrop's going to move to the bullpen.
This call to the bullpen brought to you by SHN Sports.
10-9-1 the line score here for the Rouse Raiders. 3-5-1 the line score for the Bastrop Bears. And that does look like it's going to do it there for Reagan Hips. Give it to him. He pitched pretty well there, especially the first several innings. Kind of settled this game down for Bastrop, but freshman looked like he just kind of ran out of gas late New hurler coming in for Bastrop. We'll step aside, get you the information on him here in just a second. 10-3 your score. Rouse leads on SHN Sports.
Now pitching for the Bears, number 1, Peyton Parsons.
Go ask Mr. Little if I'll get you in the final. What was that pitcher's name? Peyton Parsons. Yeah, Elgin's final, 3-0.
10-3 your score. The Bastrop Bears trail the Rouse Raiders here tonight on senior night.
Elgin 3, Cedar Park 0. Final.
Big announcement over the PA there as Elgin has beaten Cedar Park 3-0. And that opens the door for the Rouse Raiders to take the second position in this district to their lonesome. If Rouse can put this game away, Rouse will be the 2 seed, Cedar Park the 3 seed, Georgetown the 1, and Elgin with that win knocks Hutto out no matter what Hutto does tonight, and Elgin is the 4 seed. So those are your 4 representatives from District 19-5A, and it's up to Rouse now to keep it as those guys being the 2. There's a fastball outside and high from Peyton Parsons, who's on in relief now for the Bastrop Bears. Runners at first and second, 1 out for Rouse, up by 7 runs. If they can scratch across 3 more here in the 5th, this one is over. From the stretch, Parsons comes set. The pitch, called for a strike, 1-1. Give you the line, partial line on Reagan Hips here in just a second. Parsons with a 1-1. Breaking ball missed up high. 2 balls and a strike now. Well, Reagan Hips, 3 1/3. Book is not closed yet, by the way. The runners on the base pass are his responsibility. 3 1/3, 4 hits. So far, 2 runs. Neither were earned. Well, actually, I take that back. 4 runs are crossed. 2 of them are earned so far. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 wild pitch. He also hit a batter. And he will not factor into the decision tonight. 3 balls and a strike to Edlund, who is pinch hitting here. Damon Edlund hitting from that right side, a 3-1 count. Fastball missed downstairs. There's ball 4, and the bases are loaded once again for the Raiders. And Hayden Thomas is going to get a chance to hit again, I believe.
Now batting for your Rouse Raiders, number 10, Hayden Thomas.
Thomas has been there the whole way. A single and a run scored in the first. A deep fly out to left center in the second. Reached on an error in the fourth and scored as well. And it clear the bases, base hit. Ends the ball game. Hayden Thomas with a huge gap to work with in right center. There's a foul ball by the end of the bat. 0-1 the count.
Well, I tell you what, Brad, if he can put that into right center, he probably will clear the bases.
Anything out there that gets past the that'll split, that would split the defenders is ball game here. 0-1. Line left side, pulled it foul. Second time tonight, Thomas has got around on one just a bit too fast that he's hit well. 0-2 now the count. Couple of Bears players out of the dugout racing down for the ball. Thomas in an 0-2 hole. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Just missed high and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's been pretty consistently called a strike tonight.
He definitely has liked those in the upper atmosphere of the strike zone.
1-2. That one popped up left side. Third baseman Widner over for it in front of his dugout. Does he have room? He does. He's actually standing in the dugout. And now they say it's not in play. It was behind the railing
of
the dugout, and therefore not in play. His feet were not on the grass and therefore in play.
Good effort.
Yeah,
by
good
Brock
effort.
Whitner, but
Stayed with it. The ball was just under the awning over there, or almost getting over the awning of the dugout, but because his feet left the field of play before the catch was made, it is a foul ball. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Parsons peers in. Well, the base is loaded behind the 1-2. Breaking ball way upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Even stance. The pitch. Thomas checked his swing. Did he go? No. Or yeah, did they say he went? Apparently, yes. I missed the call. I didn't think so.
I don't think the umpire realized it was strike 3.
Oh, it was a called strike. I thought he was checking for his. It looked like with the motion he made, he might have been checking.
He called it
for
a strike.
Okay. Good pitch there, too. 2 away in the inning. Here's Robbie Ramos-Caro. And a fastball called for a strike to him. 0-1. I thought it was a strike when it crossed the plate. It was a pitch at the knees on the outside corner there. Just an unusual call by the home plate umpire. 0-1 count. Bases still loaded for Rouse. Up by 7 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Fastball missed downstairs to Ramos-Caro. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count to him.
Somebody has messed up the scoreboard. We're still in the 5th. They cleared the outs, but unfortunately moved us to the next inning.
Here's the pitch. Popped out of play. 2-2 now. Or excuse me, 1-2. Parsons in relief here after inheriting a bases loaded situation, trying to get out of it without any harm done. Here's the delivery. Breaking ball just missed off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a good take there by Ramos-Caro. Break-even pitch. Lifted in the air, right field. Pretty shallow. Right fielder Bujima coming in. That's going to fall in fair territory. It's a base hit. A couple of runs score. Robbie Ramos-Caro with 4 RBIs in the game now as he gets the single to right field. And it is a 12-3 game. Runners at the corners now for the Raiders. As looks like Sosa scored. Ward came home to score on the play, and Edlin is at third base. So a chance for the Raiders to walk it off with a run rule victory.
Scoreboard is just totally wrong. Should be 12-3, but it's 16-3 right now.
12-3 your score.
Now batting number 6, John Dominguez.
John Dominguez up to bat. for the Rouse Raiders.
Damon to Edlund representing the winning run.
Here's the pitch, up high. 1 ball, 2 outs in the inning. 12-3 your score. 1 ball count. Chance for Rouse to win it right here if John Dominguez can drive home the run from third. That one's in the dirt, 2-0 now. Rouse victory clinches the 2 seed out of 19-5A. And it should mean we might have an opportunity to tell you exactly who they would play. There is a pitch that missed outside, 3-0 now. See if we can pull everything up. It'll either be Brenham or Tomball Memorial that'll face this Rouse team. There's a called strike, 3-1 now. Both of those teams tied in the District 25A standings. I think it's going to be Tomball Memorial. 3-1 here. Hit well, left center field. That will be caught. A diving grab by Cody Van Cleric. And we're going to keep playing. What a play by the center fielder for the Bastrop Bears. And he keeps it 12-3. Had that fallen, the ball game would be over. Instead, the Raiders get 4 across in the inning. They do it on 1, 2, 3 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 men left on, including what would have been the final run of the ball game, 90 feet from home. We move to the 6th. Rouse leading at 12-3. This is Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Now pitching, number 42, Stephen Connie.
We head to the top half of the 6th with the Rouse Raiders on top 12-3 over the Bastrop Bears. A great play by the center fielder, Cody Van Clark, on a diving catch in left center to end the bottom half of the 5th. Had that ball fallen, a run rule would be in effect, and we would have handshakes right now. Instead, there's a new hurler on the mound for the Raiders. It is Stephen Connie out on the mound. John Dominguez, his night is done. Good job for him in relief. An inning and 2/3 for Dominguez. No hits given up. He did walk 2, but he also struck out 5. All 5 outs that he got were via the strikeout. No runs given up. Right now, I think Dominguez would be in line for the victory. Here's Caleb Bujama. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. And the first pitch from Connie misses high and away for ball 1. Connie working from the windup in that far third base side of the rubber, and that's a foul ball back into the screen, 1-1. Connie peers over the brown glove, nods yes. Here's a 1-1 offering to Bujima, and it misses just upstairs. 2 balls and a strike now. 2 hours and 13 minutes deep this game right now. You're in the top half of the 6th. 2-1, grounded right side. First baseman Lance Little will pick it up, scoop, and toss to Connie. Kind of had his option if he wanted to take it himself, but said it's a 3-1 put out, and there's 1 out. In the inning, here's Cade Balusic. Oh, it's Gage Cook at first. Sorry, we thought it was Little. It is Cook.
That 6 and 0 looked awfully similar.
Oh, that's okay.
Now batting number 2, Cade Balusic.
Balusic, 1 for 1. He walked in the second and had a 2-run double off the left field wall in the 4th. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt for ball 1.
There you go, Connie, right here, kids.
Well, you can thank Cody Van Clark for extending your stay here.
I got a flight in the morning, so I was in here like, oh, man, 1-0. Grounded left side, third baseman Ward scoops it up, throws across the diamond. It is high as it sails over the head of Cook off the first base dugout. Up to second base on the play goes Balusic, and it is a straight E5. A 2-base error on Bryce Ward. So runner at second.
Number 21, Brock Whitner.
And 1 out. Here's Brock Whitner. Whitner 0 for 2. You know, the folks from Bastrop, it's a weeknight. They come out here to watch their kids play, and they got a long drive home tonight, too. That's not the easiest drive.
We had to make that drive last night.
Solid hour or so from here, I think, right?
Close to it. Pretty close to 11 o'clock when I wheeled into the driveway at the house.
Whitner stands ready and swings and misses in a fastball for strike 1. And don't forget, all these guys still got school tomorrow. Not just tough on the older folks, man. 0-1, there's a fastball called for a strike at the knees. 0-2 now. To Brock Whitner. Whitner has grounded out and struck out swinging tonight. Time called as Connie calls for the catcher Cody Vanoy to have a quick chat. I think just want to make sure they're right on the same page with signals. I'll tell you something I'd love to see the high schools go to that they're trying out in the Southeastern Conference this year, and it's helped speed up the games a lot, is they're actually allowing coaches to call in pitches through a walkie-talkie with an earpiece in the catcher's ear.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. As it's an 0-2 delivery here from Connie. Fastball, miss high and tight, 1-2. So it's a connected walkie-talkie. The catcher has it working, or on him, with an earpiece. Coaches can talk right in just like this on their walkie-talkie. And it's actually moving the game along a little faster in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, next thing, somebody will be able to pick up the signal and then be giving signs.
Spin, throw back to second, and they're just behind the tag is Cade Balusic. It seems to have worked well so far for the conference, but it'll be interesting if it continues to pick up. A 1-2 count. Connie delivers. Slider in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher Vanoy, but not far enough for Balusik to try and move up to third. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rouse all over Bastrop, 12-3. 6 of those 12 came in the first inning. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball by Connie. Blown by Widner. Second time Widner's gone down on strikes tonight. 2 outs here in the 6th inning of play, and Chandler Ingram is due up. Ingram 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He's also struck out swinging.
Now batting number 7, Chandler Ingram.
Ingram takes the deep breath and gets ready to go in that right-hand batter's box. Runner at second is Kane Balusik. He reached on a throwing error. So if he does score, and any other runs that could potentially score in the inning are unearned to Connie. That is high and tight for ball 1. Hard to tell you who really is going to be due up for Rouse in the next inning. A lot of pinch hitters in the 5th.
Well, substitutions now.
Yeah, so it's see who's going to tell you who's coming up. A 1-0. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 1-1 now. Glove resting on the left knee of Connie. Now he comes set from the stretch. And the 1-1 slider. Ooh, beautifully in there for a strike, 1 and 2. That ball had some spin on it. Connie's got the one he wants. Here's the 1-2 offering. Another slider. Just missed the plate. 2 and 2. Whew. That was a good take there by Chandler Ingram, because that ball was placed right where Stephen Connie wanted it. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Break-even pitch. Fastball missed high and tight, and that'll run the count full.
Well, this is the first pitching action that Steven has seen, I believe, all season long.
He looks good out there.
He's been suffering from a nagging arm injury and has finally gotten over that. And he's having a good appearance here tonight.
3-2, slider in there for a called strike 3. Beautifully placed pitch there by Stephen Connie. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the frame, and that'll end the 6th for Bastrop. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and a man left on. We head to the bottom half of the 6th, and there's a new hurler on the mound for the Bastrop Bears. It's Brock Widner out there moving in from third base. He'll switch positions with Peyton Parsons, who finished off the 5th inning for Bastrop. Parsons, 2/3 of an inning, a hit, strikeout, and a walk. He came in for Reagan Hips. His final line was 3 1/3, 4 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 5 strikeouts, a walk, a hit batsman, and a wild pitch. Here's Gage Cook staying in the game, and the pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Cook led off the 5th inning. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run. Got hit in the head. 1-0 to him. Inside, almost hit him again. 2 balls, no strikes. Working from the stretch, Widner, even though the bases are empty. There's 2-0. Misses up high, ball 3. 1 run ends the ball game here for the Raiders. Up by 9 in the 6th inning.
Widner had an appearance last night versus the Raiders.
3-0, that's a get-me-over fastball, 3-1 now.
Hopefully the Raiders can take care of some business and get you home a little early.
There's a called strike at the knees, 1-2, or 3-2 rather, the count. Oh, it's okay. I got a long flight tomorrow. I'll sleep on the plane. No big deal. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Just that short nap you get before you have to go.
That one's downstairs in the dirt. There's ball 4. So the winning run is at first base for Rouse with nobody out. There's Stephen Connie, the current pitcher out there for the Raiders. Connie with a beautiful bunt single his first time up back in the 5th inning. Pushed it down the first base line and scored a run, and now time called. Bastrop's coach wanting to ask a question to the umpire. I think about maybe the lineup here. Trying to figure everything out. I don't quite know what.
He's claiming or thinking somebody's batting out of order.
Connie's in his spot that he hit in last inning. That had to be the question because umpire's checking his lineup card there, but Connie's hitting in the same exact spot. Runner at first is Gage Cook. And Connie checked his swing and a pitch downstairs for ball 1. Here's a 1-0. Misses inside and low. 2-0 now to Stephen Connie. Raiders will be back in action next week in playoff time. We just don't quite know where or when yet. This one a called strike at the belt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Stephen Connie. Check out Rouse's baseball Twitter feed. Check out the SHN Twitter feed and Facebook feed, things like that. We'll be able to update you as we know more. There's a 2-1, swung on and missed, 2-2.
Scott Mount will send out email to let you know if you are a Booster Club member and your email address is
that 2-2, a little flare, shallow right. It'll fall for a Texas League base hit. Up to second base goes Cook. Connie gets a hit. He's got 2 of them tonight.
Tell you what, Brad, that was almost an infield hit.
Yeah.
That was just barely into the grass.
Just kind of off the hands, but he fought it off and drops it in the perfect spot. So runners at first and second. Here's Patrick Sosa.
Number 4, Patrick Sosa.
Sosa right here, kid.
Sosa with a bunt single and a run scored in the 5th. his only time at the plate tonight. We've seen him on the base paths as a courtesy runner. The ball squirts through the catcher Ingram, both runners up 90 feet, and now what would be the final run of the ball game is 90 feet from the house. Sosa with just about anything in this. The infield's playing back. I think they're willing to just concede it at this point, down 12-3. Here's the 1-0. Sosa takes it downstairs for ball 2.
That wasn't a bad-looking pitch. Definitely off speed.
2-0 delivery. Popped up right side in the infield. Chasing for it, first baseman Willoughby. He crashes into his catcher Ingram. And it will fall with no damage done to Rouse. You could hear Willoughby calling for the ball. And the catcher Ingram kept going after it. That was Willoughby's baseball, though, if you're playing who has the right of way. It's a 2-1 count now.
They tripped over the bat weights.
Yeah.
But they were in the on-deck circle.
Oh, they kind of crashed into each other, too, as the ball was coming together. But, again, that's the first baseman's Willoughby ball. The moment he calls for it, you got to let him take it. 2-1 count to Patrick Sosa with a chance to end it here. And that one's line shot right at the third baseman Parsons. He'll scoop it up, throw across the diamond, and it gets past the first baseman Willoughby. Everybody stays where they are. And bases are loaded still for Rouse with nobody else. And we're going to get a chance for Peyton Driggers to get an at-bat. It's an E5 on the previous play, and I got a feeling that's why the holdup there on the runners is to try to get Peyton Driggers a chance at the plate with the bases loaded, knowing that the run would have ended the game. There's a called strike, 0-1. Anything works to get the run home here. There's a chopper off the plate in front of the mound. Here comes the pitcher, Widner, to get it. Throw to first, gets Driggers, but the run comes home from third. Nobody was covering the plate, and that'll end the ball game. 13-3, your final score. The Rouse Raiders pick up a victory on senior night, and in doing so, with everything that happened over between Elgin and Cedar Park, the Rouse Raiders will finish district play as the 2 seed going into the playoffs next week.
Raiders took care of business, and Elgin took care of their business to ensure their ticket into the playoffs.
13-3, your final. Rouse with 6 runs in the first. They kept pouring it on from there as the Raiders are in the playoffs. Here are your final district standings for the top 4 in 19-5A. It'll be Georgetown. They'll go undefeated, assuming they won tonight. Rouse will be number 2, Cedar Park 3, and then Elgin number 4. And the Raiders will be in playoff action next weekend.
Yeah,
we just don't know when and what time or what days and where yet. So follow everything on Twitter, and hopefully we can get you that information. For the Bastrop Bears, their season comes to an end as the Rouse Raiders pick up yet another victory. Sir, any last words here on senior night?
Well, it being senior night, there's a lot of guys that fortunately get to go on to play some playoff baseball and continuing their high school career. But tonight officially kind of signifies thank you for the many years that you've put into playing the game and being a part of Rouse Raider baseball.
A good senior class and a senior class that really set the tone for Coach Carampine as he came in and took over this program a couple of years ago, winning district last year, finishing second in district this year, making the playoffs each of the last 2 years. Remember, when he took this club over, only a couple of wins in district play the entire season.
Well, yeah. Well, when he took it over, we were winless in district.
Yeah.
Only had a couple of wins in the season.
Yeah. So, amazing turnaround. This senior class helped turn it around with him. and they will head to the playoffs starting next week. You'll be able to catch all the action here on SHN Sports. For Mr. Michael Francis, this is Brad Tillery saying good night, everyone. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We again apologize for the technical difficulties in the first inning or so. Hopefully you stuck around with us. Your final score, 1